Hi, it's been a while. Exactly 7 years since I uploaded my last video, the camping trip part 2. It's weird being back in front of the camera. It's a little awkward. It feels a little uncomfortable, just kind of getting back into it. But yeah, 7 years. I think when I uploaded that video, I didn't plan for it to be the last upload on the channel. But looking back, it seems like a really good endpoint. I think it was just before I went off to uni. A lot of things changed. It felt like a good send-off, I guess, to that part of my life. Why have I started up again? Well, I guess when I first started the channel, I was in quite a bad place. Struggling with depression, going through a very messy breakup, which this video certainly does not need to act as a reminder for that. I think by the time I stopped uploading, it wasn't for that anymore. It had just become kind of habit almost, or fulfilling some arbitrary expectation that I put on myself to continuously upload and to keep content coming out despite no one really watching it. And I think it fulfilled that purpose of, helping me through my depression, and it definitely did. And it's certainly not to say that I don't still struggle with depression. There's definitely days where it's still difficult, but it's a lot better now. I'm in a really good place, very content in my job and my life, an incredible marriage, but we'll get onto that. Starting up again, while I am very happy and very content at the moment, I feel like I don't have a creative outlet, and I feel like that's kind of been building quite a lot of internal pressure that hasn't really had anywhere to go. And I've always kind of had or felt the need to have some kind of creative outflowing. I've kind of wanted to play around with writing songs or doing other YouTube bits. I did some Magic the Gathering YouTube stuff for quite a while, and that was really good. But I keep on putting this expectation to create on myself, and that builds the opposite kind of pressure, causes stress, and I burn out. I kind of causes a whole kerfuffle in my mind of, I'm a failure. I'm just going to give up. Just going to give up on that and put it to the side. So I wanted to try and start again, but with no intentions, no expectations, and just create when I feel like it. So if this is the last video I ever upload to this channel, that's okay. It serves as a kind of reminder, I guess, from this period. But I found myself procrastinating as usual, watching some of my old videos and just cherishing the reminder that they were not just for what they were at the time, but what they're providing now as well in those memories. Some of the holidays that I went on with friends and family, some of the ones where I'm just talking to the camera like I am now. Dare I say cringe, but also it's good to see where I was at the time. I think kind of seeing where I've come to now is quite a lot. Yeah, I think that's quite a special thing that I hadn't really considered much before this point. So I figured, try and chuck some more videos up on this channel, and that can be beneficial for me in the future, hopefully. And I guess that's kind of what this really is. It is entirely for myself. I'm not doing this for anyone else. If no one ever sees this beside myself, honestly, that's the best outcome for me. So I guess this is kind of a letter to myself in the future. I know it's been done a million times before by a million other creatives that are far more skilled at it than I, but as I said, there's no expectation. It's just for me. So, hi, Stephen, in the future. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, and I hope we continue to improve and learn and change, get better at navigating life. There was part of me that was like, oh yeah, it would be great to just kind of go into this with no script, to mirror the good old days of creating YouTube. But as you are very well aware, the other part of it is just procrastination and laziness, and I didn't want to try and write a script. So I'll just ramble at a camera for 20, 30 odd minutes and see what happens. The last 7 years, what's happened? We'll kind of run through fast. I went off to uni, as I said. Nexus, it was quite the experience. I would say not as incredible as I thought it was at the time. While I was going through it, I kind of felt there was some pressure for it to be incredible and perfect. Looking back, it was anything but. Not to say it wasn't incredible. It was an amazing experience, having that as my university, being able to put into practice some of my musical skills and live performance and building on my media skills as well. The people I met, the friendships I made, some of them I'm sure will last forever. Specifically, my wife. I met a girl at Nexus and we fell in love, and we're here now. But that'll be later. Nexus came to an end. Stayed in Coventry for a year. Lived with a couple of mates, which was a lot of fun. Interesting, living long distance from my now wife, just because we'd lived so close for 3 years, and moving into long distance was quite a change. But it was good, I think. It was hard but necessary. And then, of course, into COVID-19, the pandemic. I know I'm quite privileged to be able to say that I actually quite enjoyed lockdown. It was a horrible time for a lot of people, and it delayed my wedding, which sucked. But there was a lot to be thankful for at the time. Just having no pressure and feeling no necessity to do anything, and just enjoy having the time off. I played a lot of video games. Actually made some really strong friendships over that period as well, which I think a lot of people weren't able to say, and I can appreciate as I said, the privilege that was. The tail end of COVID, I finally got married. We had a tiny little back garden wedding. Moved to Manchester, of course, which is where I am now. Finally got legally wed, and then finally had the big celebration as well, a year and a half later, I think, and that was just incredible, seeing the payoff of the waiting and the excitement from both my wife and I, and also our friends that were looking forward to celebrate with us. Seeing that kind of all come to a head in this grand celebration was amazing. Having all our family there after my wife's parents couldn't make it to the last 2 weddings, and them being able to finally celebrate with us as well was just so incredible. I feel like I've got a bit of direction now as well in terms of a career, which is something I never thought I'd have, and I never expected to have, and was kind of okay with. Looking back, that I think was foolish. I'm certainly not next 20 years planned out. I don't even know specifically what I'll be doing in a couple of years, but there's at least an outline and promise of things to come, which I think is a lot better than just kind of floating through an unknown space of working in hospitality and hating the hours and pay. So I think that it's a good place to be in. So where are we now? We are content, enjoying life. Certainly not figured it out, but I think being content with the fact that I'll never have worked it out is huge, and something that younger me certainly didn't have. There was a lot of panic despite the outset of everything's fine, everything will work out, I don't care about thinking about the future, which in some ways I didn't, but there's always that underlying fear of what's to come. That's certainly not gone, I don't think, but I think it's certainly subsided a lot more than it had. And I think being okay with the fear of what's to come as well, the nerves of the future is natural. But I think life is just a lot better now, and I'm really glad to be able to say that. I try to make myself aware of the privilege that I have in the position I'm in. I know a lot of people don't have that, and I try and remind myself of all the wonderful things that I have in my life, that I'm very happy for. So I guess I'll finish up with saying a couple of things to myself in the future. I hope you're still appreciating as many things as you possibly can, whether that be stupid little things like just playing video games on your own, or with your friends, or with your wife, or the bigger things like special holidays with your family. I hope you're still falling in love with your wife more and more every day, like I am now. I know that it'll not always be easy, but I'm excited for the future and what it brings for me and her. I hope you're still surprising her with hot chocolates, and I hope you still don't need to be asked when she wants a drink or a snack, and that you are able to just bring that to her without question. I do hope you've got better at interacting with your family, remembering birthdays, and just being a bit more present in their lives. I know there's a lot when it comes to the kids especially, but I think it's really important to be able to speak to them regularly, and it's something that currently I know I need to do a lot better at. So I hope I've learned to get better at that. I'm sure with a lot of help from the wife. Right, I think I'm going to sign off there. I've spoken for about 14 minutes. We'll see if we can cut this down a little bit, if we ever get it edited. No, we'll get this one done. We'll get this one done, and then we don't care about, or I don't care about what happens, whether we upload anything else. I'm hoping maybe on some holidays do some kind of montagey things just for the memories, just to look back on in the future. But we'll sign off there, and I'm sure me in the future will look back at this video at some point and think, just as I do now to my old self, wow, this guy is a idiot. Love you. Bye.